Listen to the vibes.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Vibes. And love to welcome here Kijuan Amey, who is a motivational speaker. And he used to be an Air Force staff sergeant. And unfortunately, you had a motorcycle accident, which took your sight.
Correct.
Man. Well, let's get to know you a little bit better. Tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Absolutely. Like you've already mentioned, I was an Air Force staff sergeant. I'm now retired,
Mhm.
medically retired to say the least. After a motorcycle accident took my eyesight. But not only that, I suffered a severe traumatic brain injury, PTSD, spinal cord medical infusion with 2 rods and 12 screws.
Mm.
And then I also broke both of my legs to include the largest bone in your body, which is the femur on my right leg. So that's a titanium as well. So that's how I got to where I am with motivational speaking. But as far as my job in the military, I have to mention it because it kind of makes me who I am today.
Yeah.
In-flight refueling specialist. And what that means is you refuel airplanes in midair.
Right.
So it's like pulling up to a flying gas station to basically say the least. You're pulling up to a flying gas station, whether you're a fighter, a bomber, reconnaissance aircraft, heavy aircraft like cargo planes, such as the C-5 and the C-17. Man, listen, whatever, even the president's plane, I would not want to be refueling that because that means something's going wrong. So I'll be honest, if I never got to see that plane, I was happy. Um, I did, so that was cool. So funny thing is though, the reason I say that made me is because it took a 19-year-old kid from Durham, North Carolina, and turned him into a man very quickly.
Yeah.
Like you had to speed up life very quickly because not only are you having to refuel planes that can be from, tens of millions to a couple billion a piece. Like I believe a B-2 bomber is like 2 billion a piece
Jeez.
because of the stealth capability and all of the things that it can do. It's just like you're in your mind when you're in school, you're thinking about that. When you get in the air, you're like, hey man, I just want to plug this sucker and make sure it doesn't hit me. So that's the reason I say that, because everything's moving so fast. It's not like you're going slow. This is not the simulator anymore, which is what I call a video game. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not the simulator. This is the real deal. So it shaped me and gave me the discipline, gave me the precision mindset. It gave me that mindset to also think quickly.
Yeah.
And so also I became an instructor, so I learned how to teach it as well. But moving on to now what I do now with motivational speaking, I have to also carry those same little tools and things with me, whether it's the discipline side of, staying focused on my business, whether it's that perseverance side that I had to fight through to get to where I am now when I was in school. And now I had to get to back on my feet because like I said, I broke both of my legs and my spinal cord, being medically infused. I had to learn how to walk again.
Mm.
So I had to persevere through that. And that took me about 5 months to, be walking without any support device, whether that was, using a wheelchair, um, a walker, or
Mm.
a support cane. So I had to go through all three of those phases to now being able to walk, jog, and even run. Now I can run again.
Wow.
Uh, man, that's what you call true perseverance and true resiliency. I learned that in the Air Force as well. So, it's so much I can say the Air Force helped me with, but I also didn't realize that it was already a part of me. I just didn't know what it was. The Air Force helped me identify it. And so that's part of my journey right now.
Are you 100% blind?
100% blind, but I see a little bit of light perception out of my right eye. And when I say a little bit, the what I mean by that is it has to be very bright, such as the sun or
Mhm.
that really bright, annoying light that they put in your eye at the eye doctor.
Ah,
It's the light brights like that, you know.
you went through all this, and I know some folks they do persevere, but there's some that just give up. What was that inside of you that kept you from giving up?
So first and foremost, faith. I am a faith believer. I've been in church ever since I was born,
Mm,
literally. My family has been in there for a long time. I have pastors, missionaries, deacons, elders, I got some of everything in my church, in my family, you
mm,
know. So it's one of those things that I grew up with. It's something that has always been a part of me. I don't know if you can see behind me, but I have a drum set and a piano here.
yeah.
Yeah, so I play the drums at my church.
Oh,
So
nice.
I'm a musician. I'm also a singer. I just started learning the keyboard here in October of 2020, I believe it was. So during the pandemic, I do know that for sure, but I think it was October. So I got bored. Literally is all it was. I got bored and I was like, I need something to do. Something that's not as loud as the drums, you know?
Right, right.
Because not everybody loves to hear me play the drums every day. So let me try something a little bit quieter. So I'm learning that still today. I'm taking music therapy and to help with my traumatic brain injury.
Right.
It really helps. Music therapy is a very soothing mechanism. Music in general is
Mm,
soothing. So we have to be mindful of what music we're feeding ourselves. If you're always feeding yourself something hard, something heavy, something, just evil, like, you just want to be
yep.
angry all the time, guess what you're going to be? You're going to be
Angry.
evil. You're going to be angry all the time, you know? And so, but if you find yourself leaning towards peaceful songs or songs that speak something, things like that. It doesn't have to be spiritual because not everybody is. And I understand that, but I am. So if it's spiritual, that's great because that will feed your spirit. And so that's what I tell everybody. We all have this thing that's yearning or trying to grab a hold of something. And if it's not grabbing a hold of anything, it's gonna find something to grab a hold to. And so yeah, that was one of the big things so my faith, family, is a huge part. I mean, dude, when I was in the hospital for 2 months,
Yeah.
there might have been one day out of those 2 months that nobody was in my hospital room.
Oh, wow.
Like somebody, and I'm not saying they were there around the clock, but at some point somebody would come in there that was my family or friend.
Hmm.
There might have been like one day that nobody came. And I think that was the day I got really upset. So here's a public service announcement. If you have anybody going through something serious in a hospital, in some kind of home, some kind of facility, and you can go visit them, please do because they
Right.
want to see you. As much as you're like, I don't know if I could see them like that. Like, listen, they want to see you
Yeah.
because it helps them and it gives them something to keep fighting for. You know, oh, that made me feel like people love me. I still have a reason to be here. And that's why I'm fighting back so hard. So yeah, those definitely were two main things that kept me going.
A little bit about you playing music. How is it
Mhm.
that you're able to learn if you're not able to see what you're doing?
Now, with the drum part, so I've been playing drums since I was 7.
Hmm.
I lost my eyesight at the age of 25.
Right.
So it was basically muscle memory. Another thing about that is, hey, if Stevie Wonder could do it and he ain't never seen a day in his life, so can I. So can I. It's so amazing because you asked me that question, and I was just talking to my grandmother last night, and
Mhm.
she was talking about how in just a couple months out of the hospital, I was putting together a drum set.
Nice.
And she
Nice.
was like, I was still trying to figure it out myself. I'm just watching you. Like, I knew I could. She said, I knew I couldn't do nothing because I don't know how to put that stuff together, but all I could do was watch. And I was like, Grandma, after you've done it for so many years, like it's just secondhand nature. When you've done something for so long, it becomes secondhand nature. And you know, especially with a passion, something that you have a passion for. Oh, dude, I had so before we got on the call, I mentioned my friend. His name is Sam, the one who passed away. Well, I had bought me an electronic drum set, and they have those because I wanted to do something, to keep it quiet, to
Mm-hmm.
stay quiet. And I had bought one, and it had finally showed up to my house. And I'm like, how the heck am I going to get this thing put together? I can't see.
Mm-hmm.
And so I call him. I say, hey, Sam, is there any way you could come out here sometime today and help me put my drum set together? It's electronic. He said, oh, yeah, I should have some time, at such and such time. I said, okay, cool. So the box is sitting in the middle of the floor.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting on the couch. The box is looking at me and I'm looking at it. I'm
Mm-hmm.
looking at it and it's looking at me. And I'm like, I can't wait any longer. I popped that box open, man. I started pulling everything out. I said, I'm just gonna lay everything out for him, at least so he can have it, for when it's time, time to put it together. And so the one thing about that was when he got there, I had
Mm-hmm.
already set the whole kit up. I
Oh
said,
my God.
man, the only thing I need you to do is plug this sucker in. Yeah, that's how it happened, man.
And you decided that you wanted to be a motivational speaker. Is that part of your faith, or you just felt like you needed to get out there and encourage other people?
Now, if I'm being honest, I never in a million years wanted to be a motivational speaker. Never, ever, ever.
Right.
Speaking in front of people used to be a fear of mine. Now, being a clown, that's one thing. But actually saying something that makes sense, uh-oh. Uh-oh. What are we doing? I wasn't the best English major, out there. So um once but see, here's the superpower, and that's what I call it. Once I lost my eyesight, I can't see you, and you can't see me.
Hmm.
So you could be making any kind of face you want at me. It does not matter. All I know is what I'm saying,
Right.
and you now have to receive it. So that was what I did. I just changed my mindset around what I'm doing. I'm speaking about something that you're hopefully listening to. And so what kind of drove it though was everybody that I spoke to one on one. Man, you've got to start speaking about this. We got to get you on stages. We've got to get you, oh, you've got to write a book, And it's the same my same friend that passed away, Sam. He was the main guy. Man, you got to do this. You got, and I'm like, how am I supposed to do that? Like, first off, I don't want to. Secondly, how? And as the saying goes, where there's a will, there's a way, man.
That's
And
right.
that's really what it took.
So you teach people one on one
As far as what?
as motivating them.
I don't teach motivational speaking. I speak, like, do different speeches. So I'll do like a keynote. I actually have an event coming up here in May, on May 3rd, that I'm actually the speaker. And the event is called Will to Overcome.
Hmm.
Now, will is it stands for something. It's an acronym that I have adopted, and it stands for win in life's lessons. So we have to win in life's lessons in order to overcome. And so I speak on different motivating, I guess you could say, topics, and even to other things as well. I speak to a lot of different things, but yeah, that's what I do. Now, mentoring, I do mentor.
Yeah, I
So
misspoke. I should have said coach instead of teach.
yeah, yeah, no worries. Yeah, I do mentor, and coaching, mentoring, they kind of go hand in hand. So yeah, I do that.
Have you written that book?
Oh yes, absolutely. It was published June of 2021, and
Um,
it's called "Don't Focus on Why Me: From Motorcycle Accident to Miracle."
Are you planning on another book, another or a series, or what's going on there?
The reason I start smiling is because everybody says I have another book in me, and I'm like, okay, yes, I do, but give me some time, please. I was trying to get, certain things lined up right now, and it's not to say that I'm not gonna write it. I am, but in due time. So I do have another book in me. People have already thrown titles my way. Like that's the crazy part. They're like, man, I can see you writing a book on this title. I can see you writing a book on this title. And I'm like, I can see me focusing right now on what I'm doing, and then I'll get to the book. So
Yeah, I'm
and that
motivational,
reason,
but don't push me too far.
yeah. Well, see, the thing is, with the first book that I wrote, I figured out how long, that book. I say there's two timelines of me
Mhm,
writing it, from the day of the accident, May 5th, 2017, until I published it in June of 2021. And then there's the physical time I started writing it, which was October of 2020
mhm.
until June of 2021. So I've been writing that book for well, if you do the math, 2017 till 2021, that's 4 years.
Hey, I've had a book in me for 20 years and I haven't written down hardly anything. So,
Yeah, so like that's how I think of it. Like it took me 4 years to write that book, and I was still in a I don't feel like I should write this, kind of moment.
yeah.
But the reason I wrote it was to get my story out there. I
Mhm.
was hearing everybody else's, but now it's time to talk from the first person point of view and what I was going through.
Do you have a website?
I do. It's called ameymotivation.com, and that is AMEY motivation.com.
Where can people purchase your book other than your website?
So yeah, it's on the website. Also Amazon, Audible, Kindle, and Apple Books. So Audible and Apple Books are both in the audio version.
Do you have a YouTube?
I do, but I don't really post much on it. I'm more of like I have the Facebook, the Instagram, the LinkedIn, stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I got all that and I ain't posted and I don't know how long. I just I don't have it, man. I don't know all that algorithms and all that other
Yeah.
stuff. I'm terrible at it.
Yeah, I tend to post more of my videos and stuff on the Facebooks, the Instagram, stuff like that. Um, Sometimes I just share, more, I guess you say word based, like when you type stuff out on LinkedIn
Mhm.
and it might have an image with it. So it's just what I do.
If someone wants to see you speak, are you going to be doing any engagements?
The one coming up that I'm hosting,
Hmm.
May 3rd in Carrboro, North Carolina.
Hmm.
You can actually find the link to that on eventbrite.com, and it's called Will to Overcome. It's the name of the event. And again, that date is May 3rd of this year, 2025. The time, so that you can make sure you're looking at the right event, is from 12 p.m. noon until 3 p.m. And that's Eastern time. And like I said, it's in Carrboro, North Carolina at La Montaña Restaurant.
Oh,
So
nice. Nice. Kijuan, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you coming on the show.
you're so welcome, Kyle. I appreciate you having me.
Oh, anytime, man. If you want to come back, just let me know.
Sounds good.
I also want to thank all you folks out there. If you are new to the channel, I hope you'll come back. Please hit that subscribe button. For my regulars, you guys are awesome because you make it possible for me to do this. Till the next one, everyone, please take care. Be kind to one another. God bless and peace.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Listen to the Vibes. You can catch us on Buzzsprout or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, and on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook at The Vibes Broadcast Network